Hello and welcome to the show. We are here today on Forza Motorsport, about to not move off the line particularly well, but I have got a lovely spot on the grid. We are for a multiplayer session here with some C-Class American cars, and I have gone a very different route to everybody else. I'm driving the Dodge Omni, which I'll be honest, this thing is horrifically horrible to build. I'm not much of a tuner on Forza, never have been, doubt I ever will be. Particularly of my time playing this game, this is the most I've spent tuning a car to try and make it work, because this was horrifically difficult. It's the most oversteery front-wheel drive car I've ever built, I've ever driven. It's fast. Dear God, is it fast when the conditions allow. The wet is probably not what I want for it, but so far, we're not too bad. And in some ways, what might help me here is... a great spot on the grid. Now, front-wheel drive we lose out, of course, because, well, we just can't get the car going. However, I've got a lot of grip in these corners, and I'm less bogged down in traffic. I am having to defend immediately. And the problem, of course, for my Shelby here is my lack of straight-line speed. This is a full handling build. We're on race tyres. They would be slicks, but of course they're wet. For these conditions, we are, well, I mean, it's a bit of a funky way of building it for this one to try and get the weight distribution better. It has full ballast and then full weight reduction, so it has now got 50-50 weight distribution to try and combat some of the handling problems. It's a bit of a scuffed way of building it. It's a bit of an odd way of building it, but it kind of works. And if we can keep everything together and make the most of this start position and a good opening lap, we could be in for a good session, really, because this is kind of the ideal circuit. In some ways, ideal condition for the car. I don't think any car likes these conditions particularly. We're one of the few front-wheel drive cars in this race. Of course, being American cars, there's a lot of rear-wheel drive machines. Now, you could swap the drive lines. This is a rear-wheel drive car as a death trap. Might work as an all-wheel drive, but I opted not to save my PI for other parts, if you like. There are a couple of the Neons, the SRT4s about, but they struggle off the line and they may well be faster than me even, but if they're in traffic, you're going to struggle. I have got the perfect start. I mean, me and Majestic here have had one. It's just, we started on the front row. Majestic got ahead of me briefly. We fought back past, and then we're in clean air. We're not really being troubled by anyone. Grumple's up to third. Not sure what car Grumple's is in. I think it's some sort of American muscle car, some sort of big old boat, and you would think the boat would be good in these conditions, but actually it is the little, well, I guess if they're boats, I'm kind of like a little kayak, would probably be the best comparison. This thing's quite, with the ballast followed by weight reduction, I think we're looking at about £2,500 in the Omni, which is pretty light. It's going to be one of the lighter vehicles here. In the dry, I'd have run some test laps around here in the dry. In the dry, this car runs 57. Though, if I didn't crash it so much, I could probably run it into the 56s. It is, in some ways, weirdly, and I wasn't expecting this, this car is a lot less sketchy in the wet than it was in the dry. In the dry, it was very oversteery. In the wet, it's actually a lot better behaved. I wasn't expecting that. I'm going to be so when I load these sessions up, I select the track, and the weather is set to random. So the game decides what weather we have. When I saw it was a thunderstorm, this is I think like the wettest conditions you can get. When I saw it was this, I was concerned. I knew this car was potentially very fiddly, very difficult to drive. I was worried about it. However, if this race had been dry, I think this would have been weirdly harder. I don't quite know why the balance is working better in the wet. What have I done? What weird magic has occurred where I've actually built a very, very good car here for these conditions? I'm never going to be able to do this again, I don't think. Yeah, this is just a genuinely, really, really good car for these conditions. I wasn't expecting that. Yeah, I was expecting it to be a horrible, oversteery, twitchy death machine, essentially. But it hasn't. The front-wheel drive Shelby is running away from all of the muscle cars. This was not on the script. I mean, it's a happy accident. I say that, like, I've said it, I say many times when we've done these. You know, I do prefer being in the pack in fights and so on. It is rare, to be honest, that I get races like this. It's rare that you ever get races where you just manage to run away from the pack. But this is one of them. I mean, we didn't have a great end to that lap. At the moment, we've got a 4-second lead. A lot of what I'm doing is, I say, almost risk management. It's difficult. I'm not very good. I've talked about this a little bit before in the past, but I'll go through it again to a degree. I am not great at slowing down the pace in a controlled manner. I am very much a case of I go as fast as I can, and that's about the only setting. As soon as I try to be a little careful and make sure, you know, I don't fall off the road and make sure I don't do anything stupid, as soon as I do that, that's when I make stupid mistakes. I'm better off just go for it, and I say run the risk. I mean, it is always a little bit of a risk when you drive like that, but I make less mistakes doing that, weirdly, than I do if I just try and back it off. Or if I do back it off and don't make mistakes, I go so slowly I lose a heap of time. So I'm comfortable enough with this car here that I can continue to push it. And as I said, I'm more comfortable with this car in these conditions than I would be if it was in the dry. We've pulled more of a gap to the car in second here. We are having that very lonely race at the front. It is, so Mystic's gone in the pits. Someone's got the wrong amount of fuel in their car. That's unfortunate. Right there, that's really, really unlucky. They were having a great race. I mean, they were starting to battle with Grumples. The only thing I can think of is, yeah, they've underfueled the car. There's no other reason why you would pit in these. So, yeah, that's desperately unlucky for them. We have found some speed. Grumples is in second. Heiko's got up to third. But we're actually pulling away from everybody here. Even though they are in clean air, we have been pulling away from them relatively consistently. We've actually found some pace this lap around as well. Shelby was the way to go here. Maybe it's not the biggest of surprises. The car is, as I said, it is one of the lightest here. I mean, it's probably 1,000 pounds lighter than a lot of cars that are in this field. But yeah, I was expecting such a different. It's going to be so weird having gone from this in the wet, where it is, I mean, I couldn't really ask for much more from it, to a race in the dry where you're going to see the twitchy oversteered death trap that I expected it to be here. Right, all wet races today, I think. because this is very good indeed. Now, I don't know, of course, there may be vehicles further back in the pack that lost time at the start that are setting faster lap times. Yeah, that is always possible. These races are relatively short. I mean, I'm sort of keeping an eye on the gap to Speed Slap. It's around that 12-second mark. So, yeah, maybe they can't come out. I certainly don't think this is the, you know, ridiculously faster than everything. But just circumstances and the cars that were around me, we have been able to make the most of and kind of run away at the front. And, yeah, made sure not to make any silly mistakes. We're back to 7 seconds now. Back to Grumples is something. As I said, I don't actually know what the cars are. I only know we had a Shelby Mustang behind us for a little bit. We saw a few muscle cars at the start. It has been a very quiet. Speed Slap is a little faster than we are. Whether they would be able to... I mean, it's one thing to be faster. It's another very, very different thing to pass around here. So depending on where that car was strong or weak would depend on how easy that one would be to pass. I think it's we're already talking a few tenths of a second, and of course if they've been stuck in traffic for a while and I've been able to lap pretty consistently in the 1 minute 2s, yeah, we can just run around. We can just run around without any real problem, and then if they get into clean air and they're suddenly gaining a tenth or two a lap, that's not going to undo all the time lost early on. That was a bit of an iffy final corner. It has been a relatively quiet... Actually, it was a ridiculous gap in the end. That Omni was incredible. It was absolutely incredible around here. Yeah, Speed Slap was one of the cars that were fast. I mean, there were a few quick vehicles. I reckon, I say, so Speed Slap was in a Mustang. at the SVO, I think. I reckon, had I done better on a laptop, I reckon a 101 is possible with that car. I think the Mustang's a little faster than I am, but yeah, 101 may well be possible. I was looking at my sector times, he could possibly have done it. Grumples it was a Chevelle in second, Camaro in third. Then, yeah, we go back a little bit. I did see somewhere there's a Mustang, there's another SVO down there, 1023 was fast, Rebel's quite quick. And I did see where is it gone? I did see a Longbow was going quite quickly with an SRT. Yeah, there's another 1027 in there. Steve's SRT for the other front-wheel drive car in the field. Yeah, that was a that was very much a drive around on my own. We were good at the start. We made the most of a strong start position, and then buggered off. The Omni was very good, very good indeed. For that, probably not going to be going forward. Now I'm even more scared. We head to Laguna for our next race. A relatively nice spot on the grid for me. Not quite as high up, and I mean, we're going to lose a couple of places off the line. That is a guarantee almost. We're alongside Rusky, who has got quite a heavy, not particularly fast starting car either. That's actually helped. I mean, Gliska's gone shooting forwards with that Javelin. But, yeah, not too... The row directly behind me wasn't all that fast starting. Oh, there's a gap. Oh, there's an Omni-sized gap for us to sneak through, and we will sneak through that one. I don't know if Ewan got attacked. I don't quite know what happened up there. I was so busy. I wasn't looking exactly at the contact up ahead. As I said, these Omnis are difficult to build. They're very difficult to get... Well, I found they're very difficult to get working. Ewan's is built very differently to mine, that much is clear. Mine is way more of a handling box. Can I go around the outside of Gliska? I mean, the thing is, yes, I can. Does it matter? No, because even if we hold this, we're not bad accelerating, but we're stuck on the outside for the next corner. And while at Lime Rock, we had the spot on the grid to do it. We had, you know, the track to make the most of our grip. Here is going to be tough, because passing is difficult for me. Everything's faster than me down a straight. We may have to take a very big dive bomb into the corkscrew. It wasn't long ago I was doing this with Gliska. Might have even been last week. Was it last week? I don't remember. The weeks all melds together, where we were following Gliska up to the corkscrew, looking for a way past. I mean, again, we've got loads of speed through here. We are going to be on the outside for this next corner. Now, I mean, we can actually run it in here. Oh, I mean... I got to turn in because I'm going off the circuit if I don't. Gliska's got some oversteer. Oh, that's not stopping. That is a... Yeah, that is just a completely missed braking point. That is very unlucky for whoever it was in... Was it the AMC? Was it Machine? I think it was Gibgold, I believe, that unfortunately felt the wrath of that one. I did move across a little bit, perhaps late on Ewan there, on Ewan's Omni. Right. The problem I've got is I cannot use any of my speed here. I can be quite fast, but we cannot carry that speed through the corners because now I've got a Javelin in front of me. And what's making it even worse is we've got Ewan. Me and Ewan are basically pushing Gliska through the corner there. Ninetales has got a Coronet coming to join the party. We have got to get through at some point there. I don't know if I slightly tagged the back of Gliska's car, maybe. I feel like that's fine for the push-off that we got at the end of last lap. Gliska's going to struggle to pull that up in time. We are stuck on the bumper now, and we're all going to cut back underneath. We're just getting held up something chronic here. We're going to be on the inside of Gliska, at least at this part. We might even be able to get... Oh, wanted to get to the inside of Longbow, couldn't do it. The problem is now I've got a lift and everything comes flying past. And this is the real difficulty with a car like this. If you're not in clean air, everything just comes past when you get to the... when you get to a straight, and I just can't come past in the corners. We just get boxed. It's actually getting very frustrating. There comes a point where we are going to start sending this car on people, and we're going to not make any friends really doing it. Like so. It's very, very aggravating being stuck here when you have got so much speed that you can't use through these corners. In some ways, actually, what would help is if the field spreads out a bit. If you get... So, when you've got everybody all side by side, it's very difficult for me, for example, to make a pass. If I make a dive bomb on Ninetales, you run into the car in front. When everybody is a little bit more spread out, you can focus on battling one car rather than battling 3, and you stand a little bit better chance. That's actually a bit of a risky line to take there, sweeping back down on stuff. Because you never know if someone's gone late on the brakes. Like, it's fine to go for a late apex. It's a perfectly valid line and everything. But if you do that, you run the risk of someone behind going straight into you. And you can see the speed that we've got down here is absolutely immense. We will chuck it up the inside of Gliska, because we can brake so much later and still put it up in time and carry the speed through the corner. That was a very big dive bomb. And now the thing that's going to help me here is Gliska's fighting Ninetales. And if they fight one another back there, then we can hopefully enjoy a few corners of peace. A few corners of peace is a very, very important thing in this one, because yeah, it can hopefully get us far enough away that we can run clear. There is mayhem at the corkscrew behind. Chris continues to lead the way with, I think that's the Mustang boss. Ewan is in second. There is a stuck marker. The thing is, now I've got to relearn this track, because I don't actually know what my car is like around here whatsoever. With how things panned out in this race, I've not had a lap to myself, so it's really a bit weird. I think Longbow's Camaro, I think, is probably a better mixture of speed in this one. We are all grip, no straight line speed. Ewan is a bit more straight line speed than me, but nowhere near as much grip. You know, the Mustang, Camaro are maybe not quite as much ultimate grip, but have still got a decent amount of grip, but, you know, a lot more straight line speed. Now, if Ewan and Chris get stuck fighting each other, this could be quite an interesting battle. If they slow each other down even a little bit, I'll catch. And if I get involved in this, Longbow will catch. I can't really pass easily here. We will have to send it. It's going to have to be, much like the dive we did on Gliska, it's going to have to be a big dive at exactly the right time, which is not easy to pull off. And yeah, Ewan is now being held up. So Ewan is clearly quicker than Chris. I'm quicker than both of them, I think, and Longbow may be even quicker than me. So this is going to quickly descend into chaos down here. So what we're trying to do there is straighten up the exit of the corkscrew as much as possible, but that is difficult to pull off. We might get alongside Ewan, but that was a huge two-wheel moment that I did not need and did not intend to get. So that is one of the things the Omni likes to do. It really does want to roll over a lot of the time, so I've got to be careful hitting the curbs too hard. That almost wiped out me and Ewan. Thankfully, front-wheel drive, you can just boot it and save it. We could be vulnerable to the Camaro here. God, Chris's car is really slow down the straight. That surprises me here. Chris's car just wants to put us in the pit lane. Yeah, Chris's car really struggles down the straight. Whoa, Ewan was very early on the brakes. It's 3 wide into turn 1. That's fine. We will go for this, because we will get the speed on the exit, and there will be a half a gap alongside for us to go. Okay, so that Mustang's completely different. That's not what I thought it was going to be honest. That's interesting. So that Mustang's actually even slower than me down a straight. How has he done that? Now comes Longbow, the only car with straight line speed. Longbow may get all of us at some point around here. We're going to be careful through here. And we are. Chris is on the inside. It's too wide coming up the hill. We're going to have one lap to hold on. I mean, I know we can be quick through here. I think I can be quicker than that, to be honest. I think I should have gone down maybe to third. Ewan's going to look to the outside. You're going to struggle to pull that one up in time, or pull that one off particularly. We will give space, but Ewan will not get turned for that. And Ewan's got to be careful that Longbow doesn't sneak a pass in there. We will be neat and tidy through there. I'm wary of the curbs on this one. Oh, like that. And I've turned in too soon. Now we're on our own. It's not been driving amazingly well. Longbow is to the outside in this one. We will, I say, fend off for now. It's not going to matter. Longbow is going to outrun us to turn 1. We're not slow accelerating. There's no doubt about it. We are not slow accelerating here. We don't have the top end. Longbo's Camaro doesn't have as much top end on me as I thought it was going to. It's probably a bit more stable than we are. That is a big difference. I have to say, I am glad that of all the cars, it's Longbow that's at least caught up, because it was Longbow we inadvertently ended up putting on the gravel, so I feel like it's fair that Longbow's got the pace to be in this fight. We have left Chris and Ewan now. Once in clean air, we have just left them behind. They just cannot match the pace of the Omni. We've actually had a very good Sector 1. We've got our act together here, and yeah, managed to build a little bit of a gap. Now we are slightly freer. There's still danger for me. The big danger is the curbs. I'm very scared of the curbs. That corner in particular worries me. It's actually a little bit in between third and fourth gear there. I didn't attack the curb as much as I have been doing, which is probably the right thing to do. Corkscrew for the final time for the Omni. Oh, we get a little bit bounced around. Come on, Shelby. Nicely does it through here. The back end's wanting to step out. Not as much as the Camaro. I think the Camaro's gone. Camaro has got a bit too sideways through there. Longbow had to throw everything at it, and I always respect the effort at the end there. It's the final lap of the race. You kind of got to at that point. You got nothing to lose. We're miles clear of Ewan and Chris as we round the final corner. Yeah, I mean, this car, still fiddly to drive. I didn't really get my act together until the final lap. We did have to get a bit elbows out, I think, for want of a better word in that one. Gee, okay, well, me and Longbow were quick. Holy crap, were we quick. Yeah, I think my car's quite fast. Longbow definitely was, yeah, Longbow was the car to match me, really. The Camaro was definitely the one to go. I'm happy. I'm really happy with my Shelby. We did have a fight for this one. We had to do some big moves, that's for sure. Yeah, so apologies to Longbow for the little bump on the grass. Certainly didn't want that one. But I'm very glad that Longbow we had a good battle at the end for that one. And two Omnis got on the podium. So yeah, there we go. Ooh, we are a long way back for the final race here. We're at the Homestead Miami circuit. Let's see what happens. I say we're a long way back, actually. We're not that far back, all things considered, but still. We are going to lose a few places off the line, most likely. Where is that? That's going to run out of space on the inside. Yeah, this is going to be a difficult race for us. The track is... I mean, I don't know. I like this circuit, but it is probably less suited to us than Laguna. I'm not sure. We're definitely going to be fast in a couple of places here. The Omni is going to have some speed. We aren't fast down a straight, but we aren't complete garbage, which is what's going to save it, I think, here. The Monte Carlo behind, that one is not going to stop. We're going to get boxed in behind that one. Amazingly, could have gone worse. But yeah, this track, it won't be great suited for me, but it isn't the absolute worst. That Monte Carlo has got a lot more straight line speed than I do, as does that Chevelle. I want to... Oh, don't move across in the braking zone. You can't move when you're on the brakes, because that happens. We were... we were going to shoot to the inside. I know I can brake later than everything around me. The problem is, I was waiting to brake later than them, and then they went on the brakes. I went on the brakes as they were already moving across. So yeah, that's how big accidents happen. We're going to go the inside of the Monte Carlo. I mean, that Monte Carlo's got all the straight line speed and no grip in the world, so we're always going to be able to pull out manoeuvres like that. You can see how much we can close on these cars. We've actually made it 3 wide in a place. I was not intending on making it 3 wide, but there we go. We are going to get now murdered down towards turn 1. Can't do anything about that, but we are closer than we were, so I will take it. We can hopefully sneak up the inside of at least one car down here, which we do. Thank you very much. Can we sneak up the inside Danger Man? Probably not, because Danger Man is... Oh, no, we'll get both of them here if we play this one right, which we do. and that will be me up into 6th place. Right, going off, chasing after Ninetales now. Vante is leading. I don't know if they are still driving the Daytona up at the front. We have clawed our way through the pack very nicely indeed. Oh, Ninetales got hooked on the back of the Mustang there. Of speed beast. I mean, we've carried a lot of speed here. We are suddenly in the middle of a 3 wide. We just turn up and make things 3 wide. I'm going to have to be careful actually doing that. While it's quite funny, the scary thing for the cars I'm racing is they're battling 2 wide, and then all of a sudden a Dodge Omni appears and makes it 3 wide in a place where they were never expecting it to be 3 wide. We are going to go to the inside of the Mustang, the inside of both the Mustangs, and that'll be us past. We are up into 4th place, but we are now onto a straight. Grumples has got a lot of speed of that Chevelle. The thing is, I reckon I can match the Chevelle for lap speed, but I can't do it if I am in traffic. Ninetales was out wide. The Mustang wanted to push us through that one, and well, we are now through that one, and we are up into 3rd place. Chris is ahead of us with that Mustang Boss. We know that Mustang's actually not all that fast down a straight. It's one of the few muscle cars that, alright, maybe it's been rebuilt since the last race. I'm going to take it as a probably, because last time I pulled away from that in a straight, and now it's buggered away from us. So we are up into 3rd place. Oh god, and again, all of our speed has just been killed. I'll just go underneath there. That one there will do the trick. Thank you very much. Now, cars I've got to be careful of. Mostly that Chevelle I'm a little bit nervous of. I don't know why Omni is flying around here. Yeah, the Chevelle, if it gets clear of the traffic, I am worried about that. It's having a bit more trouble in the traffic than I did. My car working better here than I thought it was going to be honest with you. And, I mean, the real question now is, can I catch that Daytona? We've got a good number of laps to do it. And we're in the best position as far as I'm currently not being harassed by other cars. That's what we need. If something catches us and starts interfering with my lap speed, basically, then it's game over. If something doesn't, if we are able to keep this gap, if the Mustangs and Coronets and Chevelles and everything back there stays where it is, we could maybe chase down that I presume is a Daytona. It looks like it is still a Daytona up at the front. Right, come on, Omni. You can do this. It has not been as much of a horrific death trap as I feared it might be. We've pulled away from the pack behind. So they're fighting amongst themselves. We are catching right now. We are catching the Daytona. We've got about a second that lap gone. And that did involve... that lost a little bit of time through here on that previous lap. We're definitely gaining on the Daytona. Where am I going to pass it is not easy. Where I would like to pass it would be turn 1. If I could get past turn 1, we can then be good travelling through. If we get into turn 1, we can then get out of the next section, maybe ahead of it, making the most of our car's grip, because that section is probably where we're fastest. I mean, we're going to have a couple of laps to do it. So I don't want to make a rash move and lose a lot of time. I can afford to be patient in finding a way past this Daytona. Yeah, I mean, we're going to catch it. Maybe not. We're not catching it because we're catching by the end of this lap. Maybe by the end of next lap, I think we will be there. Gliska's Javelin, I think they're still in the Javelin, is up in 4th. That's going to have a lot of straight line speed. It's going to struggle in the twisty sections, and of course, as that group there gets a little bit more. Oh, that time I turned in too soon. Got trying to get that corner right. Not so easy. Oh, Vante is under pressure here. They can tell they are under pressure with the... we are so much quicker through that section. I love this little Omni. I'm really happy with this car. As I said in the first race, of all the vehicles I've ever built for one of these, I think this is one I've spent some of the longest just to try and make it even drivable. It was such a twitchy, difficult to drive car to begin with, and I'm so happy with the end result. It actually is legitimately very, very fast here. I mean, if we can somehow find a way... I'm never going to get the triple, again, I don't think, on this game is so difficult to do, especially with a front-wheel drive car, when you are so bad off the line. It's helped with nice spots on the grid, but to do it, I've got to get past a very mighty winged machine. Where are we going to be able to do it? At the end of this straight, unlikely. How much faster than me is it in a straight line is also an important question, because I don't think it is. It isn't that much quicker than we are down the straights. So we've actually got a little bit wide. So they went a little bit wide, but we also went a little bit wide. I can just pick up the throttle so much sooner. We are now putting, I think they might have missed a shift or missed a clutch through there, because that suddenly didn't accelerate like it should have done. I've got a race gearbox in my car, don't need to worry about the clutch. Could we even... Oh, I wanted to fire it there. There you see the back end letting go on me. I had to back out of that move because the back end was about to step out and come round and make a nuisance of itself, and we have not got the final corner properly through there. Made a mess of that. Vante will live to fight another day at turn 1. Can't do it. Here, we might be able to do it into turn 2. That's the bit that's going to maybe... So we can't dive here. Way too far back. Vante with a wheel on the grass. We might be able to do to Vante what we did to Chris. Just carry more speed through there. Fire it up the inside. Overshot a little bit, but we can park it on the apex. I'm not going to give you any room to cut back underneath me there. We had to go for it as quick as possible. I mean... I say we had to go for it as quick as possible. There was a very good opportunity there that I didn't want to squander. And we will run, hopefully, away to safety. Now, what can... Of course, third gear should work. What can the Dodge do? The one advantage it has now got is it's in the slipstream. So it's going to be even faster down the straight. Not that that was much of a problem for it. We will send it the long way. So not only will it be faster down the straight, but I'm going to have to defend. So I'm going to have to now take compromised lines that will cost me time. Get on that power on the exit. Come on. Come on, little Omni. You can do this. You can do this. We are now probably clear of immediate danger into this next corner. We should be fine. Yeah, if we don't... Oh, God, it gets a little bit bumpy over there. Okay, get it stopped and turned through here. Not actually the perfect line through that. I was a little bit late on the turn in, but I was trying to be, say, a smidge careful on the exit. I'm really surprised how well it rides. My big concern going into this circuit, massive concern, was hitting that banking and it just launching the car straight up into the wall, because it was seeing how bad it was on the bumps of the curbs at Laguna, and I'm astonished with how well it's riding that. It was a fiddly car to get set up right, and it's quite stiff in places, so I expected it to be terrible. I mean, you see it's awful on curbs, but that banking, that transition, it's fine, and we're gone. I don't know if Vante may have made a mistake into turn 1 trying to push to catch up. We were quick through that first section there, no doubt about that one. Jesus, this little Omni is a wonderful C-Class car. My two best C-Class cars are both front-wheel drive. The Corrado I have is a very nice vehicle, and this Omni is quickly there. Yeah, we're just gone. Even Gliska got up into third, who in clean air cannot match the pace of the Omni. This thing is an absolute rocket ship here. The slick-tired little hatchback is the way to go. We have just got a few quarters to go. I mean, Vante drove a great race. They did absolutely everything right in as far as they got the lead early on, they stayed out of trouble, they didn't make a mistake. We put them under pressure. They didn't make a mistake, but they just did not have an answer for this little car. Whoa, that has let go on the final lap. That was me chasing a faster lap that I really shouldn't have been. You can see how on edge it is. It's so dangerous at times. That actually could have ended up in me having a flip or a race over. Probably shouldn't have been pushing it that hard. I laughed now. That could have been very embarrassing. But it is 3 victories out of 3 for the Omni. Holy crap! Lap time. Gliska got there at the end. I mean, we were going quicker than that as well when I just backed out of it at the end when we were going to go for a spin. Gliska's car's not showing up properly because Forza. But yeah, well, I reckon the 34 is possible with that. I have no doubt. That thing is unbelievably good. Jeez. I like my Omni very, very much. Yeah, there we go. The other Omni did not have such a good time for Ewan. It's still pretty decent lap times. They're going to get stuck in traffic and got in tangles, etc. Around that one. Yeah, I will take that. I will take that indeed. Fantastic little car is that one. I think there were some other fast cars as well that may well just get stuck in traffic. The wall of muscle cars is a problem when you get stuck behind it. It's difficult for handling cars to make their way through. Yeah, we got a bit lucky. We timed it. We timed it right, and I will take that. Oh, apparently I've just seen Ewan had to pit for fuel, so I don't know where Ewan was, but Ewan ran out of fuel, so that's why the other Omni was all the way down the bottom. So there we go. That is going to be it for this video. If you would like to sign up to take part in the next one, you can via our Discord. There'll be a link in the description. Find the Versus Community sign up section, and you can register to take part in there. That, though, shall be it from me. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, a goodbye.